Hello and welcome back to another Warlords of Draenor video. So over the last week, models have been dripping out one by one, and, well, we've got to the stage where they're enough for me to actually be able to show you something. And, yeah, we're just going to start off with this, honestly, rather, very handsome fellow here, in this ogre. So, yeah, it's an ogre, it's what you'd expect, but what I think is worth mentioning, though, is this fellow's attire. If you have a look at his shoulder plates, there are a lot of skulls with green things in them. Same goes for, well, just about all of his body. Now, if you've maybe had a look at, say, some of the art for Gul'dan, you'll realise it's the damn same. It looks very similar. Another thing that's also of note is that, of course, Cho'Gall and Gul'dan buddied up. And that's how Cho'Gall got his own clan of, what were they called? No, I forget the name. But basically, Gul'dan had his sort of set of shadowy, evil, foul magic dudes. Now, it would definitely appear that this is the same group again. And if you just look at everything, it's very much Legion-themed, very foul, very corruption-y. So this definitely speaks to the idea of there being a storyline with Gul'dan and the Burning Legion. This is pretty cool. Things like this definitely confirm that we're at least going to see some sort of Legion influence, because there's no way that you could get an ogre looking like this, especially just with how much it fits into the Gul'dan story, without the Burning Legion being involved somehow. So I think that's going to be really cool, and it's nice that we'll get a little bit of a callback to, well, not a callback, but I guess a reinterpretation or a different path of events for the whole Burning Legion kind of worming their way into old Draenor. And if you look way back on the channel, by the way, I do have a lore video which covers that. Still, though, it's looking pretty cool. As for the model itself, well, I think there's some very odd things going on with his breathing. He, much like I believe the human females, seems to breathe with his, well, breasts, which is a little bit weird. By the way, same problem with one of the human models. When they breathe, just expanding and contracting, it looks very bizarre. So yeah, I don't think this is a particularly finished model, so you can take that for what it is. Plus, they should probably disable his horn when there's a helm on, but I'm not too sure if the model viewer actually supports that. Anyway, so there's a little bit of lore stuff. Next, let's move on to this guy, who is a really cool elemental. Well, pretty cool, at least. I think perhaps there's definitely a little bit of a lack of animation in the top end, and this does not look like a finished model, I'm going to say that. But in terms of the style they're going for, I definitely think that this is very cool. It looks imposing. And I think finding one of these guys just kind of floating around in Frostfire Ridge or something like that could be quite a cool little thing. I think they're really looking quite good. Alright, so next we have something that's kind of cute. It's a baby hippo. Look at it. It's all nice. Of course, you're seeing this blown up, so the actual like texture resolution won't really look so bad when it's in-game, because obviously this will just be a little pet. But I've got to say, Blizzard are very good at making cute-looking pets. Very good at making cute-looking pets. Funny little ears as well. So, yeah, it's like a hippo plus, I don't know, it's not like a platypus tail or nearly a stegosaurus tail, if you look at the older hippos that they're putting in Warlords. Still, a pretty nice model. Alright, so, we have the Gronn. Now, I think the Gronn, look at that punch. really cool idle animation. Of course, the Gronn have been subjugated by the Iron Horde, and Garrosh is basically using them as a mobile weapons platform. As we saw on that trailer, they're wearing big cannons, they're basically siege units. At least that seems to be the Iron Horde usage of them. I think it'll be really interesting to see if maybe Gruul will be on our side or not, because he can't be too happy with his race being subjugated like that. So I think that'll definitely be a really cool bit of story. I'll just switch over here if model view, there we go, model viewer worked. Yeah, switch over to this guy, but I think these guys are going to be really interesting. They'll be a fun enemy, and I think fighting one of these guys would be fun in a raid boss. There's a lot that they could do, especially since they're a little bit more ambitious with fight mechanics now than they were all the way back in Burning Crusade. I'd say, like, we could have one of these guys punching the floor and stuff falls on the roof, and just loads of things based on them destroying the environment with their massive hulking size. I think that would be a really cool way to do bosses. And then, of course, not only do they have that, but they'll also have loads of weapons and things strapped onto them, so Blizzard really could get creative with a boss fight with one of these guys. Alright, so next we have the Plant Hydra things. We've already seen one of these, but I saw a recolor of it, so I thought it was worth mentioning. Now, these guys will probably be hanging around in the Tanaan jungle. I like the animation there of them fighting each other. I'm still not convinced of the quality of the model itself. I don't think it looks particularly great, but I do like that animation of the three heads trying to bite each other. Alright, so I ended up having to jump cut there. Thank you, Flash, for crashing on me. Anyway, this is the new Hydra model. The first thing you're probably going to notice is the actual face of the Hydra. It looks a lot more serpentine than the old one, and of course the lines there are more defined and that kind of thing. It does have a little bit of a draconic look as well, just with those kind of little, I don't know, are they horns, I suppose? Yeah, technically they are horns. They also look a lot more vicious than the previous Hydras. Honestly, the previous Hydras didn't have enough polygons to convey much of anything other than being completely blank. Well, these guys, not really suffering from the same problem. Another very cool thing you'll notice about the rest of the Hydra, though, is look how well built it is and muscled it is. As opposed to what we had on Outland. Once again, it just goes to show that the beasts in Draenor are sort of following that savage art style, and lore-wise it fits in because they haven't been destroyed by all the crazy portal magic and stuff like that. And these Hydras, honestly, they strike me as, yeah, okay, sure, being a bit of a water creature, but also a bit of a land creature as well, far more so than the previous ones. I really like the direction they're going with these guys. Let's just have a look at the other model. It's just a recolor, but I think it's pretty nice. Also, the animations are pretty fluid for the head there. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they're like in-game. But, yeah, just have a look at the snarl on that guy. Really, really looking solid. It actually looks like, oh, I forget the movie. Yeah, was it good? Yeah, it looks, I don't know why, maybe this is totally wrong, but some of the shots that we've seen of Godzilla's head from the new Godzilla movie are a little bit reminiscent of just the head of this. Of course, not the rest of it, but it's that kind of not dinosaur serpentine head, and I just think it looks really cool. And, well, on quite a different note, we have these little chaps, whatever the hell they might be. I guess some of these could be battle pets, but whoa, okay, yes, jump up on my screen and blind me, thank you. Okay, that might be a bit of a problem. We'll just have to live through it. Let's see, can we change this to stand? Yeah, there we go. So I think these guys look... You insolent little whelp. Okay, walk. There we are. I think these guys look really nice, actually. Look at their face. They've got kind of a little expression going on there. I like the way that there's a longer leaf here, which looks like a beard. If you just look at them here, the kind of muscle on them, plant muscle, whatever the hell you call it, is like really kind of built up. I'm guessing these guys are just going to be the kind of minion, or not minion, the kind of creature that is like one level above from a critter. So, like little imps or those like annoying plant sprite thingies that try to kill you in the Timeless Isle. Still though, it's looking pretty nice. And the eyes, I think the eyes are really cool. They're big, as he just jumped in to show us there. Hey guys, just a quick little addendum to the end of this video. I couldn't record it all in the same take because obviously, as you can see by the watermark, this is from mmochampion.com. But yeah, just one last race to have a little bit of a look at. These guys are the Saberon. They're a native race to Draenor, and that's essentially all we know. There isn't a great deal of information on them, and I'm not exactly sure what they'll really be doing. But yeah, well, what do I think of them? Yeah, I think they look pretty good, honestly. They're kind of sort of big, muscly, kind of hunched over things. I think that one of the things that I really like about cats and feline style things in real life is how kind of sleek they are and agile, whereas these remind me a little bit more like Worgen. Basically, they kind of look like cat Worgen, and I'm not particularly as cool with that. I prefer it if they went for just a more sleek and cat-like sort of way of doing them. Now, in terms of what they look like, I mean, yeah, these are just reskins based on various kinds of big cats. And I think they do look cool for what they are. I just think that perhaps they could look a bit better. I mean, really, it's like if you could glyph your character, Worgens would have something called the Glyph of the Saberon, which turns them into one of these. But yeah, it could be cool. What I want to know, though, is in terms of the story and the questing, how are the Saberon going to fit into Warlords? I think that'll be pretty cool, actually. And it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Still, though, by that hunch, I think that's kind of Worgen-like. I think that's a Worgen-like hunch. Anyway, that's it for this little section of the video. I'll jump back to the main bit. So that's definitely looking pretty cool, and that's basically it in terms of some of the new models that have came out over the last while. Just thought it was worth giving everyone an update on that and giving my thoughts on it because, well, apparently that's why people watch the channel. So, yeah, what do you think of these things? Honestly, wow, okay, that run, I think that might be running a little bit fast. Yeah, anyway, do let me know what you think of all these different models. I think, on the whole, things are looking very solid. I'm really interested to see what the lore behind that ogre guy will be and how perhaps that Burning Legion storyline will play out. And I don't want to be eaten by a Hydra. That's basically what I've taken away from looking at these things. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.